Small, she sat on the windowsill and looked out the window. Their snow fell in large flakes. She smiled, stuck cheeks to the glass, to examine the snowflake that has come to the window. Beautiful, symmetrical, such different snowflakes circled near the half-abandoned high-rise buildings. Yes, he was demolished, but the government decided that everything is okay. Dilapidated, the old house barely held on. You who had the funds moved, the rest were left to wait in line for resettlement. Only Q. This never came. "Anya, get off the window!" shouted a woman from the kitchen. They're a duet. Anya obediently climbed down from the window. She so wanted to see the dance of snowflakes, see the last snowfall with your own eyes. After all, spring has already come, which means here it will stop. Long sunny days, thunderstorms will come. They took a deep breath and exhaled. She looked towards the kitchen, listened. Mother fiddling with lunch. They carefully pulled up a chair, trying to silently climb onto the windowsill. What are you, indeed?" Mother said irritably, but then she cooled down and smiled. "Here, let's do that." Taisia took a thick blanket, made a corner for them, the girl could sit on it, and wrap herself completely in it. Enough. John wrapped in a blanket and clung to the glass. Taisia looked at her daughter with a smile, who was fascinated by the bizarre white flakes. Taisia worked so hard that she almost did not see her daughter. Now she spent every day with her, but I would give a lot. To work again, so help me. A male voice was heard from the hallway. Yes, running. The woman shouted and hurried to the voice. Tall, the man handed her the box and went out for a new one. Taisia barely carried the heavy box to the kitchen. Then husband returned, already with another load. He left her in the hallway, closed the door, turning the key twice. Flimsy door lock kept on parole. Not in chorus, and certainly, well, at least you have a roof over your head, Arseny said with anguish in his voice. Told you, where ours did not disappear, let's do it this time, Tasia said, dragging her husband into the kitchen. Not believe that you can fall from the top to the bottom, said the man. Anything it happens, and this too. I already come to terms with it, what happened. Just no luck with friends from relative. Now will be a lesson to you. Taisia put the kettle on, and she sat on her knees to her husband. More, they recently had a nice rented apartment, your business and money in the accounts, and now they are forced to rent an apartment in an emergency building for a pittance, eat, then God will send and survive from bread to water. Well, Cold, you and I have been in different situations. Anechka, what is this all for? Asked a rhetorical question Arseny. You stop whining, find a job, save money and get back on our feet. Are they helpful? We'll see life from different angles. That's why when it grows up, we'll value money instead of wasting them. Let's lunch. Jassop cooked a pancake, she baked a flatbread, some kind of bread. Delicious and very. Is it true, still much cheaper than Wolves by store? They sat down to dinner, talking quietly about something. They didn't listen to them. She looking at the snow, that wasn't going to end. Flakes bizarrely gathered, whirlwind disintegrated, share the game again. Landscape outside the window was changing every minute more and more. More recently, the bare street was getting more and more dressed. White dresses for trees, wires on, white fluff. The earth-covered carpets, snowflakes, cars and a bench were also covered with a black veil. More, nobody left the yard, and the snow remained untouched. Anya jumped off the windowsill and went to the kitchen. She stood for a while near the doorway, looking at sad parents. What don't you want to eat? Asked Orsini. No, I ate before you came. Let's go to sculpt a snowman. Please, said the girl. Let's get there. When will there be another chance? Father said, patted the girl on the top of her head. Taisia, the daughter's case is warmer, and sent along with her husband on the streets. She went to the window. From the inside she was shaking all over with indignation, malice and resentment. Because of some banal mistake they lost everything, and now they are forced to eat cakes on flour and water, eat soup without meat on cabbage and save on basic things. She had to look strong for her husband, so that he does not despair, but in fact the forces. I dried up. More a little and she will drop her hands. Taisia watched, How small Anya rolls a big snowball. We were already going to make a snowman nearby. We started making the second one. Girl was happy. Finally, both parents were there. They disappeared at work. It's a pity, what she didn't understand, that all this exhausts both parents. Girl just happy, and adults went through the ads for days in search of a suitable job. Woman removed from the table, washed the dishes and took out the local newspaper. She looking for any job, where will they take her? Paisia called 3 places, from one even promised to call back, from another was invited for an interview, but Tasia knew that he will hear the same phrases by type. But you have a small child, will get sick often or suddenly too want. Arsini went home with my daughter, all in the snow. They made 2 snowmen and managed to run, play snowballs, but it wasn't. Absolutely happy. Tasia helped the girls change from the dome and put to sleep. To me interview scheduled for tomorrow, Tasia said, lying down in bed next to wife. This is good. Hope that everything will be fine, and everything is empty for me. Although tomorrow I need to go to 4 more companies. Here I'm a healthy man, and took it off directly, suffocate with resentment. Gained some okay, calm down, yours will not save us. It's time sleep, it's hard day tomorrow. In the morning Tasia gave the girl to a compassionate neighbor and went to the interview. Arsini I also went to look for a job, and not dangled around the city almost everywhere. But the results were poor. Tasia arrived one, took my daughter and went home like this. How good that I caught you, said the girl, looking out of the apartment. Hello Natash. You, what can you do to my nails? I have an important event tomorrow. What the hell on your nails? I know that you don't work from home, but I really need it. I will pay as usual, even when paying for urgency. Natash, I would gladly, but I don't have much material. If you find a color that matches mine, then let's just me and my daughter. Yes, no problem. Waiting for you at home. I'll clear the table, joyfully exclaimed Natasha. Natalia caused establishment some uncontrollable jealousy. Good husband, promising job and no kids. Tasia loved Anna very much, admitted honestly, that without her this situation would have been given to them with Arsini much easier. Tasia took the materials, lamp and went to a neighbor with her daughter. Young woman met them at the door. She accompanied her friend to the kitchen, and the girls gave a big coloring, a set of felt-tip pens and sat in front of the TV. Anya obediently sat down to draw with great pleasure. She didn't have that kind of house about. Taisia laid out the tools, opened one of the craft packages, which remained unpacked from the last place of work. Here, come on, this beige one and it has black stamping lace on it, Natalia said excitedly. Great, let's start. What is the event? She asked that too. Husband promoted to CEO. There will be a corporate party so secular, and I will be next to my husband, should match. God, as if everything was fine. And we finally moved out of this house. Erected Natalia to home, truth catastrophic, but for now we pair as it does not shine, Tasia said. I know, remember your husband, he then owned the business and the league seems. Or Lada. What something happened Elegy? Yes, we just got unlucky. We worked like hell, plowed into this business. 2 months before the end of everything, Arsini's brother contacted us. He asked for a large loan. Well, my husband. And I lent my brother, although I was against. Lem melted from our account, left mere pennies there. Here in business came a black streak. Nam, if these 1.5 million would help to stay afloat, but it wasn't there. Money no float. We go to the bottom. Yes, so let's go, what else was deep in debt? This brother us didn't give a penny. The debts were distributed and the nose remained on the account was about 100,000. This wretched apartment was paid for 6 months in advance. Filmed little by little, fined, and in the end there was almost nothing left. Husband almost panic, I don't even know how to cheer him up. Themselves we only eat cabbage soup, if only Anya join in. Good. How will you continue crap, test such a cool master? Yes, I know, what a cool, only here they don't take a salon without their own customer base. She said that and that's it. Stupidity which? If you had an established base, then you didn't need a salon, so many clients. A quit because of business, only dealt with it. A now out of business, and without nails. If honestly I don't represent at all what to do. I already so confused, that imagining wild poverty. I will help you a little. You rescued me so many times, and I have a place in the cabin. She is empty, it is not well equipped, but for a manicure for the first time is suitable. I even advertising in your group. Yes, as long as you follow the models, then buy the material before and go. I need a master. Crap, Natash, it would be just perfect. If you don't mind, certainly, she said that and that's it, but why stop, you straight master from God. I would give anything for this. First time will be hard, but we will get better and help will be for you, and I feel good. Percentage the customer 1 month no dress, we'll see. Women sitting in the kitchen chirped. They almost didn't hear, but she noticed how the mother's voice became more cheerful, and after half an hour, but laughed in the kitchen. Warm in their hearts, mother haven't laughed so hard in a long time. Soon mother took the girl and took her home. Natasha gave her the coloring book and markers, what made them very happy. Taisha came out completely happy. She will now have a job, let her underpaid first time, but most importantly, what will she be? In the evening Arseny came broken. Upset, but he accepted his new wife with a smile. He was glad that at least someone will start to generate income. Money almost out of stock, he never found a job. Well, while sitting with Anyuta, while the wife will establish a flow of clients. But expectations from Axis were premature. She took 2 models a day, started buying materials, and almost no money. Stream gradually grew, funds did not increase. Everything went to the materials. Somehow in the morning Arseny collected my daughter, and they went to the park. He warned her at home, so that the girl does not ask for ice cream or a balloon. Money they had a tight, barely enough for food. Girl nodded at the persuasion of the father, but she didn't care about balls, for ice cream, she just wanted to walk with her father. For Handel Arseny took the bus to the park with my daughter. He took the little one by the hand, and they went down the main avenue. Leather jacket. Already it was hot. Vesna won space from hard winters. They unbuttoned the card, lowered her father's hand and hurried to the playground. Arseny sat on a bench and watched how his 5-year-old daughter plays with other children. But that happened then, what did he fear the most? His daughter looked like a beggar, much poorer than other children. On eyes at Arseny tears welled up. He could not imagine that his daughter would have to wear someone else's old jacket and boots. Her parents looked at her. Arseny called his daughter and took her out of there, although the girl wanted to stay. They understood quickly what is useless to ask. She got distracted and went down the path. Father has stopped, answered the phone. She turned away and stared at the reddish paper that sticks out of the snow. She raised 5,000 rubles, examined them and slipped them into her pocket. She knew what is money, but how much did not understand. Anya thinking all the way, to give to father or not, but what then the inner prompted, what's the best way to save that money? Suddenly it becomes very difficult for parents, then she'll get them. Poke, when I go back to kindergarten, the girl asked. Not I know, they have nothing to pay us for the garden yet. Here honestly I know, how did you like your kindergarten, but I can't help it. Mother yours now plows for 2, but I still don't. Not get upset, Pope, mother said, that everything will be fine. Yes, your mom is always simple, snapped Arseny. He understood that his malice is dictated by his own. To him it was hard to see that the wife provides for the whole family, what works 7 days a week, handling capricious clients, but income and albeit slowly, but rose, which means soon they will be able to improve their situation. I did not look out the window at people passing by, passing cars, beautiful colorful windows. Manila. She wanted that teddy bear, here is that cake from the pastry shop, this coloring book in the bookstore window. They lowered her eyes not to cry from resentment, and Mom kept talking, that she must be strong. They tried my best, but couldn't stand it. Tears started dripping from her eyes onto a pink tattered alt card. What does she what you're nothing, just tired. They came home, had lunch, and the father put his daughter to bed. By they slept, he called ads and looked for a suitable job. Was in vain. Wanted only movers and sellers. The first category his health will not allow, the second was not taken for various reasons. Arsini, sitting at the kitchen table, put his head in his hands. Expensive, what are you? Wife asked, entering the apartment. He didn't even hear. How did she get in, so deep in my thoughts? Tasia put an envelope with money on the table, proud of my earnings. But husband. Not I appreciate the effort. Again lower all your taxes, he snapped. 7. But not the whole part. Where I will take clients, if there is no material I also pay a percentage of each client, so I'm still getting good. Crap, it would be better to rejoice. Tasia was poor. Why rejoice you sawing your nails and making money on this stupidity of yours? I'm like a nanny. Today she looks so terrible compared to other children. She is like a beggar. From and by yourself varnishes. 7. Stop it now, I am working. My work requires materials and time. First time to be patient, this is fine. Let's already without reproach mutual. How long has it been in this apartment? For 4 months, soon have to pay rent monthly, and still have something for. I looking to the future, they are only on their nails. Yes, I'm tired of your accusations. How a dog should run after you. Yes, and here is the dog, because I am a man, not a nanny. So holiday, work, and I will sink a sit. Smart witch ye look. Scandal flared up, they on the wings of the head with a pillow, not to hear it. She already tired of their cries. Latest weeks are hard for them. Family literally bursting at the seams. Parents swear, the scandal, fight more and more. Mother falls asleep with her daughter on the couch, and dad is on the bed. Anya felt that the gap between parents is growing, but there was nothing she could do. She was just a child. Anya forgot that bill, what I found while walking, then she was lying in her pocket. She never saw that kind of money from parents, especially lately. To her seemed, that's a very small amount of money, which I will find, not enough morning. Knew the week started with a bang. Orsini shouted something, Taisia just listened. She herself began to swear and lately silently endured his offensive words. Man shouted, broke a plate in anger, reproached his wife, and the cause of the scandal was the day off, who took Taisia. April 7th months almost worked 7 days a week. I tired, I want to be with my daughter. We have what we will you did you say, what to start hoarding, open the case, you, Arsini Steinall, jacket with a hanger and above. But he returned an hour later, took away and locker documents, threw the clothes into the bag and walked away from the axis. Soan remained sitting on the couch with her mouth open in surprise. Ma'am, where did Daddy go? The girl asked. He abandoned us, Tasha said honestly. Remember, Anechka, not all men are the same, a good person or bad, reliable or not, it doesn't depend on gender. But whatever the person next to you, always rely on yourself. Cold. Let's get together. Today we have a doctor on schedule, and then she went down the street with her daughter. Was warm and sunny, Vesna came to an end, but kept the desired coolness. Woman did not look at her daughter, just thought about it. How will he balance raising his daughter and working? She knew the character Arsenia and knew that he won't come back. We see, he was just tired and could not stand such a test. Anechka, sit here, me now, said the woman and went Tox's for tickets. They sat and looked at everyone, who wandered through the station. Small the town was full of people. Railway station was a real staging post. People kind help, well what are you up to? The old lady immediately noticed her. Woman was not like all those things, who usually ask for money. This was an ordinary grandmother, just crying, didn't slide off the bench, came from my grandmother, wallet pulled out of bag. Me home, to the sun, making excuses to passers-by, who were deaf to her problem. Grandmother, you can't go home, the girl asked. Old lady looked at the girl, who looked very poor. All shabby things, because the unfortunate hungry. Yes, daughter, cannot. Money pulled out of the bag, and I'm the only one left here, can't get home. What are you doing here? You also need money. You I have a house and I am at home. Let it's falling apart, answered Anya with childlike innocence. Here, take, she handed her grandmother a 5,000th bill. That what are you doing? You where did you get it? It doesn't matter, grandmother, take, I never had a grandmother, and so I'll get it, even for a couple of minutes. Write to my son, my dad left me today, don't leave your child, said the girl. They let's go to, the bus pulled up. Shouted daughter's woman, on date, grandmother, go to your son, said a 5-year-old girl, looking into kind eyes, surrounded by wrinkles. Thank you, you are my angel, grandmother said with warmth in her voice. They got on the bus with mom, and they drove to the next town, which was 3 times, but the only normal children's hospital was there. Anya took my mother by the hand and honestly told her about everything, what happened. Taisia very surprised at that all this time in her daughter's pocket there was a 5,000th bill. I thought you will scold, said the girl, looking into mother's eyes. Well, gave and gave. I proud your mercy. Means, grandmother needed this money. Nothing, daughter, will manage, there are 2 of them. Let's get up, we go out now, she said to her daughter, and then turned to the driver, on children's multi-stop, please. Bus has stopped, releasing passengers. Next she spent 2 hours in the chair of a pediatrician and a dentist. Last just examined her teeth and said that everything is okay, but advised my mother to buy a softer toothbrush. On the way back, the bus had to wait almost an hour. I did not play with mom words, trying to beat mother. Cassia served. Despite on what happened in the morning, she looked happy. They missed my father very much, but he never showed up. However, in life with my mother gradually improved. Tasia fun, looks better every day. She finally was able to arrange a girl in a kindergarten and devoted all the time to her favorite work. Anya glad to see mom again, happy and satisfied. But time passed and gradually and happiness faded away. Father filed for divorce. This cried for almost 2 days. Rather than coming out of depression, Anya tried to cheer up but she didn't let up. Husband gone, leaving behind debts, who took in a quiet wife's passport. Tasia too coped position. She lost a lot of weight, dark circles under the eyes. She managed to buy food, pays for the apartment, pay for kindergarten and distribute debts for a spouse. Alone Arsini just disappeared, like it never existed. Somehow early in the morning there was a knock on the door. Tasia got out of bed and walked to the door. Courier handed her a small envelope, handed over the paper, for a woman to sign. Tasia signed, closed the door, threw the letter on the table. She got to the alarm clock, picked up a daughter, took the baby to the garden, and she went to work. Letter she discovered, just when I got home. Woman villages for a chair, opened the letter and almost fell off the chair. Don't run here! Shouted Tasia. What there, the girl asked, running to the kitchen. Remember, that grandmother gave money for a ticket. Here she sent you a letter and a notice. Here look, dear granddaughter, I spent 2 days at the station. Freeze from cold and hunger. Only you gave me a helping hand. Only thanks to you I got home to my son. I want to thank you, my angel. All mild my way. Hope this amount is enough to get your mom on her feet. She remembers me, proudly said the girl. Not just remember, daughter, and this is a difficult grandmother. She found our address, even my bank account number. Anechka, she transferred almost 2 million. It's just impossible. This writing was a turning point in life. Tasia talked to my daughter, and together they decided that a small housing will be enough for them by the end of the summer. Taisia became the owner of her own 1-room apartment and her own nail service studio. Woman worked weekdays, rested on the weekend, spending all my time with my daughter. Business went uphill. Tasia began to rent studio spaces and soon received additional passive income. Grandmother called world labor Ilyanikna. She appeared more than once in their lives, became for the real grandma. Tasia head over heels in love with my son Gertrude or Gentle, and they began to live together. Herself grandmother lived separately, doing your own life. She sent letters, present, picked up a good school and tutor for the girl. Tasia didn't believe what happened to her. Arsini stood at the entrance to the mall and handed out flyers in a suit in the form of a large polar bear. He hated my job and my life. His trembled at the mere thought that the businessman in the past became a promoter in the present. But here his anger soared to a critical point. He looked at the approaching black Jeep of the latest model of Major. She buys cars and rides, he snapped softly. But what was his surprise when his ex-wife and daughter got out of the car, accompanied by a handsome tall man. Arsini all turned white, despite that the suit was very hot. How this could happen, his ex-wife and daughter vegetated at the bottom of life, and here are the changes. He quickly rushed to them, but stopped myself. What will tell us will pounce with accusations, he and so she said too much in their last meeting. Having thrown a scandal around registry office after divorce, Arsini returned to his place, peeking out ex-wife. Words husband, Taisia with her husband and daughter left the mall with huge bags. Man carried a large box with an artificial Christmas tree on his shoulder. Paisia looked at him with such loving eyes that heart Arsinia began to beat more often, and the little girl called the man Dad. They got in the car and left, leaving Arsinia mall entrance. Big a filthy polar bear mechanically held out leaflets, and the inner man struggled with resentment and anger.